Good Friday afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. It's a late report today because we were waiting with bated breath to see whether or not the confirmation of our head of the Pentagon would be approved today. But Chuck Schumer, as always, is stalling things off and demanding things from the Democrats. And now we have three, I guess, Republicans that are not going to go along with the president's picks and vote no on it. So we may have to bring in J.D. Vance as a tiebreaker when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of getting him approved and in a position which we sorely need a leader in right now, because it's rudderless. This ship is rudderless without these nominations going through. We got two through so far, Rubio and then the head of the CIA, and we're looking now to get Hegseth, and then later on, they say, after 30 hours of arguing back and forth with these candidates each, that they'll try and bring in a positive on Kelsey Gabbard and a few others, that they don't feel comfortable, or Schumer doesn't feel comfortable on their abilities. Schumer has no abilities to his name other than a stall tactic and a thumb in the nose to us, the people of the United States, and he could care less. If it isn't benefiting him and his cronies, we don't get any satisfaction from him. And he's bent over like an old man. He needs to go home and shove his glasses up on his face and say, I'm sorry to this country for all of the grief that he has brought to our government seat of power in his tenure there, which is, in my estimation, far too long. Speaking of far too long, they're going to, and there was an executive order signed yesterday, I'll show you here shortly, releasing the JFK files and the Martin Luther King files and the RFK files, which, much to the chagrin of some of the Democrat colleagues on the floor that did not want this coming forth, as Biden did not, he could have released these things and declassified them, but they don't. What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of us finding out, which is far, far too long? So here, just take a look at this.
To the Democrats, I say, be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
No, wait a minute.
And everything will be revealed.
What?
I don't think that's the issue. Do you think?
Okay. Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's over. We are screwed.
Do we still have jobs?
I don't know. Probably not. This is the worst.
And my Lord, we're in much more trouble than I ever thought we were.
Interesting on how long it took for anyone to have the gumption to report to us, we the people, what exactly took place in these assassination not to mention the assassination attempt on the current president, number 47, which we still have a massive cover-up going on in the three-letter agencies that were involved in this. And we would really love to have that declassified and know what took place, trying to do away with the presidential candidate who is now the elected president of this country. So on it goes and on it goes. One more time, we have the Democratic side of the aisle deciding to hold up everything. Oh, we don't care because our paychecks come, and if he doesn't get his laws passed and everything through and his nominations through, we don't care because we're going to go home and take a vacation and go home and count our money that we get from lobbyists and all of the other things that are connected with the corrupt agencies that we have in this country right now, which we have a new sheriff in town which will clean this up and clean it up once and for all and declassify everything that we've been wondering about for years and years. And the other thing that is amazing to me is that we have people like John Bolton and Fauci running around now with pardons because we don't want to hold their feet to the fire on crimes committed by them. And we're letting them run around, and this government is paying for Secret Service protection on these people that were, in Bolton's case, was out in 2017, and why we still have a security agency around him, and while he trips around the world interfering with the government business that has to be done, we're protecting this guy. This guy is a warmonger. We know that. We know that he was a turncoat on the first term of President Trump. And what makes you think that he's still not running around making up stories and getting into the press and the lamestream lying media to make our president look bad? Well, his show is over, and so is Fauci's show. It's over. And why we have to spend the millions of dollars a year on Secret Service protection for these people, it's ridiculous. Well, guess what? That stopped today. It stopped today, or actually it stopped yesterday when the executive order was signed. Take a look at this.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Why did you remove John Bolton's security clearance, sir?
Because I think that was enough time. It's we take a job. You take a job. You want to do a job. We're not going to have security on people for the rest of their lives. Why should we? I thought he was a very dumb person, but I used him well because every time people saw me come into a meeting with John Bolton standing behind me, they thought that he'd attack them because he was a warmonger. He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. You know, we blew up the Middle East and we left. Then we got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people, and John Bolton was, one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
The next day.
Mr. Ambassador, what's your reaction to Trump revoking your security detail, ending your Secret Service detail?
Well, I've had better days, that's for sure. This is, I think, typical of Trump the man. This is the kind of character or lack thereof who's now president. You know, when President Biden, recognizing the threat against me and several other current and former U.S. government officials, authorized the Secret Service to restore protection, which I had when I was National Security Advisor. Trump has decided to reverse it. It's obviously within his power to do it. But I think this is a matter that people should take seriously and let them contemplate who made the right decision here, President Biden or President Trump.
Where's my son? What do you see? What's going on? Oh my goodness, what's happening? Mother!
So allow me to say this to you one more time. You're fired.
Oh, no!
It's interesting how we let this go on and on and on with no check and balances, and we have these people running around roughshod and lying to people and governments about what goes on here, and we're giving them Secret Service protection while we have RFK Jr. that was on the campaign trail with no protection at all, and that was done deliberately, and it was done deliberately by Biden-Harris administration, and they have a ton of covered up nonsense that we should be knowing about, but we're not hearing about. So there we have that going for us. Well, folks, it's the weekend, and it is amazing to learn today that Donald Trump landed in Asheville, North Carolina, spoke to people, took a look around at the failure of FEMA, and made a pledge to these people that there will be housing taken care of, and there would be heat and hot water one more time for these people that have suffered so badly for the last months since that hurricane, and no one cared to help out. Then he's leaving Asheville on his way out to California, where Newsom thinks that he's going to have this come to Jesus meeting with him, and Donald is not going to put up with that. He's going to take a look at things, and he is going to once and for all tie any aid coming out of our federal government to the fact that there has to be voter registration out there from now on. That ought to tighten the jaws of Mr. Newsom out there, and we'll see what transpires probably on this evening's news. We'll be able to see more of what really happened in both Asheville and out in California. The wildfires out there are still out of control. They're getting rain today, which is a welcome thing according to the fire departments that have been laboring 24 hours a day trying to get this into control. And they're grateful for that. But on the other side of the coin, if it rains too hard and too long on these burned out areas, we're going to have more homes leaving as a result of mudslides, and probably more homes sliding into the Pacific Ocean one more time because of bad management and bad governance that you see on a daily basis in California. It's a shame, folks, but we have a government now that is being put together with a cabinet that cares and a cabinet that will work on behalf of we the people rather than on behalf of Chuck Schumer and a bunch of know-nothings that are in the stumbling blocks of true governance and management of our great nation. So let's say a prayer tonight and tomorrow and every day for this new administration with a ton of common sense coming into what we, the people in this country, need to get back on track. And the biggest thing is our economy and our independence from anyone else's oil or goods that we can produce here, do a better job at it. And by the way, we have a world waiting for our natural gas and oil. So it will benefit us all the way around, including adding well-needed jobs and good-paying jobs in the oil industry that was forced to lay off a large amount of people on the pipelines that were shut down, and in Alaska, where the Inuit people that were depending on that oil trade to have a life will come back around now to be what it should be and what he, Biden inherited when he took office. It's been a long time coming, and we don't understand why this was allowed to happen along the lines that it did. And I'm still just mind-boggled over the fact that we have 20 million people in this country that came in illegally and were issued temporary visas and pardons and everything else that you can think of just to pack a voting population for one side of the aisle. And I'm convinced that's what happened. Although we also now have in our country informed cells that are terrorists here to do damage, and we are now rounding up. They sent back over 500 people already that left on a military aircraft on their way back to Guatemala in some cases. They're going after the criminals first, which is the way it should be, and we see it happening now before our very eyes, which should have been done a long, long time ago. But Kamala Harris failed miserably at the job that she was given as the border control person, or the border czar, as they call it in the mainstream media, and she failed miserably. And then came out and asked us to give her a major promotion for the good job she's done. Well, she's back out in L.A. watching the fires burn, and she should take credit, and she should apologize to all of those people that have lost their livelihoods and their homes to the fires that I would like to refer to as the Biden burn. And that's what it amounts to. We're going into a weekend now, and I'm looking forward to, we got a little bit of a snow flurry here today, which is amazing. It wasn't supposed to have any precipitation at all, nothing that is sticking, but it's 32 degrees was the high today here in this region, and we're looking forward to a cold evening, but a warming trend tomorrow. They say it will be up in the mid-40s for the weekend, which I'm looking forward to, and probably will have rain along with that, which is welcome because there's a lot of salt and stuff on the roads now that need to be cleansed away. I wish you all a very happy and healthy weekend, and please remember to pray for our leaders, pray for our enemies, and pray that the Congress and Senate will pass these nominees and get us on to the work that we have started to do and finish it in record time. And if you can call or write that person by the name of Chuckles Schumer and tell him of your displeasure, I would appreciate it because I sure am. So, if they work this weekend, we'll get some more people, some more nominees to take the oath, and we're hoping that they don't stall it any further. We'll be some reconfiguring the studio this weekend, so I won't be out and about much or taking any films anywhere, but hopefully we'll be done by Monday. If not Monday, we'll get back to you on Tuesday morning with the regular Kaiser Report. So please bear with us while we make some changes with computers and hard drives and cameras. And it takes a while to do this because I'm not an IT person by any stretch of the means. But we'll get it done and we'll get back to you. If anything does pop up that is very, very important that you need to know about, I will get to you on a laptop, and we'll get that reported to you as soon as we can. But give us the weekend, and hopefully by Monday we'll be all wrapped up here in the studio, excuse me, and get back to you. Well, God bless you all. And remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for your commentary, news bits, and a look around Appalachia from time to time. God bless. Bye-bye now.